बर्न रेट कितना है और पिछले साल का रेवेन्यू
कितना वैल्यूएशन हो गया?
आजकल स्टार्टअप, बर्न मनी, इक्विटी, वैल्यूएशन, रेवेन्यू, प्रॉफिट मार्जिन, ये सारे टर्म्स एंड लिंगो काफी पॉपुलर हो चुके हैं, ऑल थैंक्स टू शार्क टैंक। एंड अगर आप स्टार्टअप इंडिया पे चेक करो तो इंडिया में रोज कम से कम 2 से 4 स्टार्टअप रजिस्टर हो रहे हैं। सिर्फ रजिस्टर नहीं हो रहे, उनको पूरा इकोसिस्टम मिल रहा है। फिर भी 30% से ज्यादा स्टार्टअप्स 3 साल में फेल होते हैं, 50% 5 साल भी क्रॉस नहीं कर पाते, 70% 10 इयर्स में खत्म हो जाता है। इतना पूरा इकोसिस्टम होने के बावजूद ऐसा क्यों? स्टार्टअप में ऐसी क्या गलतियां होती है? अगर आप ये पॉडकास्ट लास्ट तक देखते हो तो ये आपके लिए एक मास्टर क्लास बन सकता है और हो सकता है आप सक्सेसफुल वाले कैटेगरी में आ जाओ। ये सिर्फ एक पॉडकास्ट नहीं है, ये कहानी है एक ऐसे लड़के की जिसने स्टार्टअप करने की हिम्मत की जब लोगों को स्टार्टअप ऐसा वर्ड भी नहीं पता था। वाकड़ेवाड़ी का ऐसा लड़का जो इंजीनियरिंग में एडमिशन भी नहीं ले पाया, उसने अपने भाई के कंप्यूटर रिपेयर शॉप से शुरुआत की विदाउट एनी फंडिंग सपोर्ट। एमएनसी कंपनीज को टक्कर देते हुए स्क्रैच से अपना एक ऐसा इंडियन ब्रांड एस्टेब्लिश किया जिसके आज मोर देन 1300 एम्प्लॉइज, 25,000 चैनल पार्टनर्स और 7 मिलियन यानी 70 लाख का यूजर बेस बनाया। आज ये एक इंडियन ब्रांड जो खुद एमएनसी बन गया है, सारे ऑब्स्टिकल्स को पार करते हुए ये पूरी दुनिया को आज साइबर सिक्योरिटी प्रोवाइड कर रहा है। प्लीज वेलकम मिस्टर संजय काटकर, co-founder and joint MD of Quick Heal Technologies, cyber security expert, entrepreneur, tech speaker, startup mentor and investor in the startup ecosystem. आज हम इनके साथ डिस्कस करने वाले हैं how Quick Heal started, what are the challenges in business, बिजनेस माइंडसेट क्या होता है, बिजनेस चैलेंजेस को टैकल कैसे करें, स्क्रैच से एमएनसी बनने तक का सफर, वैल्यू क्रिएशन वर्सेस वैल्यूएशन, व्हाई क्विक हील चोज टू बी इन पुणे, स्टेप बाय स्टेप बिजनेस कैसे ग्रो करें, हायरिंग करते वक्त क्यों क्विक हील फ्रेशर्स को ज्यादा मौका देता है, एक सक्सेसफुल बिजनेस ओनर का माइंडसेट कैसे होना चाहिए, क्या वजह थी जो क्विक हील ने अपना ऑफिस रेंट करने के बदले खुद खरीदा। दिस पॉडकास्ट कैन बी अ मैनुअल फॉर एवरी स्टार्टअप फाउंडर जो स्टार्ट करने का सोच रहे हैं या कर चुके हैं। लेट्स वेलकम मिस्टर संजय काटकर। संजय जी वेलकम।
थैंक यू आई एम हैप्पी टू बी हियर एक्चुअली।
प्लेजर सर, प्लेजर सर। शुरुआत से शुरू करते हैं। आपके बारे में कुछ बताइए, कैसे स्टार्ट किया, कैसे हुआ, कैसे किया?
सो या हाउ आई स्टार्टेड अबाउट Quick Heal. So it's a good story out there. So we started in 90s was a completely different ecosystem at that time.
Yes.
Tech ecosystem was like yet to happen, I'll say. Computers were not everywhere. It was like only at research centers or in banks. And
स्कूल्स में भी बहुत ऐसा उसको बहुत बड़ा बना के उसको कंप्यूटर के लैब्स अलग रखते थे, वो बहुत अंदर लेके जाने
came in
थे।
later actually. I'll say they were not there even in schools and colleges. They were yet to start. And computers were like means only techies used to access computers and
Yes.
people were not yet knowing. So
Yes.
home computer thing was yet to happen actually, and internet was not there.
इंटरनेट को
So that's how tech ecosystem was there in 90s. But what happened, virus problem also started in those days itself actually.
those it
So I was studying electronics during 11th 12th as a vocational subject, and I was planning to do electronics engineering. And my elder brother was having a workshop where he used to repair calculators and laser posting machines, which were pre-computer machines in banks actually, because banks were yet to start using computers. And as he was doing that, he realized that certain banks have already started setting up computer labs and making that transition to move to from laser posting machines to computers. And then he realized, I think this is a new era, and he suggested me, instead of going for electronics engineering, you think of computer engineering. And that was new for us, but then I had also done a small computer course during my vacation in 10th standard. I had done I had access computers. I had done some basic language coding at that time. So I was
which year was this?
89.
89. Oh,
1989. And
Okay.
then I did electronics 11th 12th, and then when I finished
so when computer were coming to India, I आई डोंट रिमेंबर इट, आई एम नॉट मच अवेयर, बट मैंने सुना है कि उसके बहुत सारा ये मिला था, अपोजिशन मिला था इन द गवर्नमेंट कि व्हाई डज इंडिया नीड
Not
कंप्यूटर्स
in
एंड
the
ऑल.
government, more prominently into these PSUs, because banks were mostly nationalized banks,
Yes.
and there the banks were thinking of bringing in computers to improve their efficiency. But what happened? The staff and all, they started thinking कि अरे ये computers are going to replace their job.
जो आज AI के साथ
हाँ,
में thought process है.
exactly. That was happening at like anything.
Majorly the typist and all.
bank started staff started going on strike and all that. So that really was a new change that was going
Revolution.
to happen, and then people started thinking कि ये it's going to eat everybody's job.
Like
But,
today we have the
yeah.
same thought process for
And
AI.
if you think today, na, computers are assisting everybody, and without
Everybody.
computers we cannot live. And the same thing is happening with AI, as you rightly pointed. So that was the era, and while I was suggested to go for computer engineering, I couldn't get admission because computer engineering was very new and very few seats. And at the same time, we saw in Pune there were courses for bachelor in computer science, which was a 3 years graduation degree, and I could get admission there actually.
Which college?
Modern college.
Modern college.
Yes.
Nice. And then
Then while doing this bachelor in computer science, so BCS, we had practicals once a week, 3 hours access to computers. It was the most fun time for us because I wanted to always touch them, use them. And then in first year we were just taught about certain basic languages, algorithms. It was more basic, but I started learning computer language, Pascal and C in this first 2 years. And
so
in
this was around early 90s.
yeah.
Okay.
And then in 90s, in our lab, many times what used to happen, our practical used to get missed because most of the time it was on Thursdays. There was either load shedding,
Thursdays, yes.
and
Pune has.
sometimes it used to be virus problem. And then I said, "Arey, abhi light hai," and then still I am not able to do the practicals because virus problem. And that's where I started seeing virus as a big problem in my early stage itself. And then I realized even Kailash used to have a computer repair workshop.
Kailash is your elder brother.
Yeah, elder brother. And he, as I said, he was earlier doing calculator and ledger posting machine
Electronic,
repairs. Then he also enhanced, or I'll say improved his thought about doing computer repairs, and he expanded that knowledge, and then he started doing computer repairing because he thought that's the future. And so I thought, let's visit his workshop to access computers because he had computers at the workshop. Customers or his customers were having AMCs with him. So when I used to visit his workshop, I saw that हार्डवेयर रिपेयर के लिए तो आते थे कंप्यूटर्स, बट समटाइम्स दोज कंप्यूटर्स वर हैविंग वायरस प्रॉब्लम. सो ही यूज्ड टू टेल मी दिस कंप्यूटर doesn't have any problem. हार्डवेयर में सब कुछ ठीक है लेकिन फिर भी it is not behaving, it's booting slow, it's like making too much noise at the floppy drive and all that. And when I examined, I said this is infected by some virus and that's why it is creating that problem. So then virus challenge was there everywhere is what I learned in that early days actually. And then I thought we should do something about it.
How did you identify this problem?
Yeah, it was discussed
It was
everywhere.
new to everybody.
So one is like, first of all, in college my practicals were missing. I went to his office, I couldn't do practicals because again his computers were also infected, and I realized, this problem is universal. And then there were solutions at that time, but they were very costly. Like MNC products were there only at that time to solve those problems. So what I did was, we were also taught reverse engineering in second year. It was like same time when I was also learning coding, at the same time I was learning reverse engineering and I was seeing this problem. So I immediately thought of implementing what I was learning on that. Actually.
Very good. That is more important. Implementation, execution is more
under
important.
The practical problems, and that's where I debugged my first virus in my second year itself. Actually, the virus name was PC Stone. I debugged it, and
can you tell me the virus name again?
PC Stone. Actually.
PC Stone.
I could see how it infected computers, how it infected floppies, and it was all in assembly language, and I was good at that actually. And then I decided I should be able to reverse engineer it manually, and I removed the changes that virus did on the floppy drive manually using tools like Norton Utilities or other tools, and then the machine was cleaned and I was happy. Okay, I could clean the virus manually. I was so happy that I even cleaned all the computers in lab at our college. I did the same thing at Kailash's office. And then people started calling me when they used to see virus problem. And then I realized I cannot be everywhere at a time. So I started, means why not write a tool to do that instead of doing manually, doing it through a tool. And that's why I wrote a first tool to kill this virus. And I called it as a kill PC stone or kill Michelangelo.
Kill PC Stone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then that tool was a command line tool, actually, simple tool, DOS based, and that tool run as a utility, and even my modern college staff used to use that. Even that office, Kailash's office, the engineers used to use that to check the virus and clean them. And then a new virus came, and they asked me, Sanjay, can you write a tool for this new virus also? So that's how my interaction with viruses and my passion to write something and clean them began, actually. And I wrote tool after tool. Every new virus I used to write a new tool. Then it became a set of tools in a floppy, and every engineer of my elder brother Kailash was having engineers to send to repair computers. They used to carry with them in the floppies and use each tool to clean those viruses, actually. And that's how my interaction with viruses happened, actually, in so early days.
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड, फैंटास्टिक. आपके सेकेंड ईयर में ही आपको आइडेंटिफाई हो गया था कि एंटीवायरस और वायरस इज अ बिगर प्रॉब्लम एंड एंटीवायरस कैन बी अ बिग सेगमेंट. ये आइडेंटिफाई आपने जब किया उसके बाद का स्टेप क्या था?
Yeah, so instead of saying antivirus as a big segment, I never thought that way. Virus is a big problem, and I can solve that, is what I realized.
Was there a term called antivirus in those days?
Antivirus was there, and
Okay.
people were having antivirus at that time. And then when I finished my graduation, I even started doing masters. While doing masters, I had by then, like in the couple of years, I had written solution for a lot many viruses, and all these were in the form of tools, as I said. But while in masters in second year, I was doing campus interviews because there was placements, and we have to do internship somewhere for 6 months. That's the part of course.
So while studying, you started side gigs, doing cleaning the viruses.
Yeah.
Then you went for internship. Internship से next step क्या किया आपने? How you were grounded and how did you scale?
Yeah, so that's where. So when we when I did internship, I was never thinking about starting a startup or creating Quickheal or antivirus at that time. But when I was doing my internship, Kailash realized that very soon I'll be placed somewhere. And what happened, in these 2-3 years, these tools helped Kailash to get better customers, because we were not only solving hardware problems, but we were
Yes,
also
soft-
solving
software
virus problems. And very few, or maybe no other computer maintenance company or a workshop in Pune was doing that. So we were having that unique strength, and that really helped his business to stabilize and get some good customers out there. And so he wanted to suggest me that why can't we create a product out of that. And I was loving what I was doing that, and so I was like, I jumped into that thought. Okay, let's do create our own product, actually. And that was while I was doing masters. So in last year of masters, I really started coding Quickheal's first version, actually. So
Okay.
that was 94.
Okay.
And in 94, by year of 94 end, I finished with the first version of Quickheal, wherein I combined all the tools that I developed and create one single product, which was again command line. And we released Quickheal's first version in 94 end or 95 first, early 95. So that's how Quickheal was born, I'll say. Okay. Now, after doing that, what we realized was, okay, product is there, but then Kailash said, okay, we'll start selling. But very soon we realized that selling was very difficult. It's not that easy to sell a product, and especially those days when people were not paying for software. People were going for pirated versions. Everything was, people, whatever they used to use, used pirated software. So one was piracy was the biggest challenge, and the other thing was, we being Indian product, local product, there was no trust by customers, actually. They loved our product because it used to solve the problem, but the kind of trust they need to invest into as a product is different altogether. And that's where we realize it's not only getting difficult, but also investing into building further versions of that antivirus. Because see, operating system kept on improving from DOS, then Windows 95 came, and then gradually things became more complex, and virus problem also started becoming complex. So there was more research needed, and we needed funds, and for us it was very difficult. and funding was not at all available at that time. There were no VC funds or no
Sir,
private.
these are very good fancy words today, startup.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
उस जमाने में तो आई थिंक मतलब बिजनेस स्टार्ट करना है was the
Yeah.
language and funding वगैरह कुछ मालूम ही नहीं
Nobody,
था.
and
Nobody
we
था.
never had this thought about like startup as also word नहीं था वो. That was
स्टार्टअप
like,
वर्ड आई थिंक ये लास्ट 10 years के अंदर इतना फेमस हुआ है.
So what helped us, you know, we means Kailash and me, we came from a humble background. We stayed in, we born and brought up in Vakdewadi, which is a chawl in Shivaji Nagar, if you remember. So that in those days, you know, what happened, you know, we were born with a completely different mindset. The mindset was like we had to make out or do all the things whatever through whatever limited resource we had. So there was a limited resources we had, and then at the same time we realized in early years of our life working hard is the only solution to get successful, because that was instilled in those days, and my parents and all always said us, you have to work hard, you have to study hard, work hard, and then you will get success. That's what we have been seeing around throughout our life. So that was like our mindset itself, and that really helped when we build quickly. How is it, you know, see for example, early days what we learned was never waste anything in those days, and never waste in the sense no matter whether it's food or money or for that matter even your time. For example, if we have leftover food, we used to reuse it creatively. If we have limited money, what we do is anything that we are using, we try to reuse it until it is completely used. So if things are broken, we will fix them and reuse it. So that's what the frugality mindset was there in early days, and that mindset we carried forward while building quickly. So what happened, whatever expenses we used to incur, we used to only spend when there was absolute need to
Absolute
spend.
need of.
Exactly. And reuse everything, use old computers. If there is a new computer need, we'll not buy the new computer, we'll go for a second hand computer. All those things we followed, and that really helped us to stay profitable and stay independent in those days when there was no funding for us. And
Sir,
that really helped.
two things. You said you started Quick Heal. How the thought of, I will tell you, the thought of Quick Heal as a name, how did it come to you? Because I'll give you my one example. I am not very good with tech, and somebody was questioning me about tech. I mean, jokingly I told him कि मेरा tech का understanding is कि Quick Heal, I used to think Quick Heal is a pharmaceutical company. How did you think of Quick Heal as a name?
Yeah, so
And
that's
was it from always, or you rebranded it later on?
Yeah, it's an interesting story. So when we finished our first version development, there was a time when we decided, okay, I had to name that product actually, because now it's no more a set of tools; it's a complete product, and the name was suggested by me itself, because people around suggested different names, but I thought the name should talk about the characteristics of what it is actually.
Definitely.
So my product at that time, even though there were MNC products out there, I've seen and I've made sure that my product stands out of all that competition. And what I did was I tried to remove all the drawbacks that the MNC products had. And one of the drawback for the MNC products at that time was they used to take long time to scan the hard disk. It used to take like hours, and also many a times they used to not clean the virus. They used to just ask user to quarantine the file and restore from backup. Like they just ask you to restore from backup. This is infected, delete it, restore from backup. And I started seeing that people were frustrated with the slow speed, and at the same time they never used to have backup, so they didn't understand how to restore from backup actually. So that was not the case with Quick Heal. So what we did was my product was very fast in scanning. It used to take like few minutes to scan the whole hard disk, and at the same time we also had this feature of cleaning files even if they are infected, and that I wanted to reflect in the name, and that's why I said Quick Heal actually. So clean.
Fantastic.
And that's how it started actually. So I believe that you should have those names or titles and even taglines that should clarify your whole personification of that product or character.
Definitely. So some younger generation today is of thinking for startup or is starting up or has started up. So it is very important for them to understand, to brand your product and position it the way it should be done, like you did with Quick Heal. So it spoke about the characteristics of the product.
Right, and see that was extended further. For example, when we started expanding, growing faster, we realized there was a different segments in India. People, everybody didn't had the same spending power, and certain people used to have lesser spending power, something, but everybody needed antivirus. So what
Like
we,
also you said कि people were very much into the pirated thing.
yeah.
So there are two things जो मुझे समझ आती है. एक is spending capacity and one is spending mentality. अगर मेरा capacity भी होगा तो मेरा mentality नहीं होता. Why do I pay for it? मैं pirated मिल जाएगा.
That's right.
वो भी एक प्रॉब्लम है.
Yeah.
उसको आपने कैसा ये किया?
So, fortunately, I was into the product where there was need for updates, regular updates.
Yes.
And I differentiated my product. Whoever used to pirate, I used to find that a license was not there, and I used to stop updates. So that way, people realize that okay, if they keep on using pirated, they'll not be protected from latest version or latest viruses, or they'll not have those latest features. Baki softwares, it used to work. Like if you are having word processor, if you pirate that, now your every word processor work is going to be done. You don't need much updates. But in antivirus, you need update regularly.
So how did you identify this piracy wala problem?
So we.
So this is a big problem. And those days piracy and all, मतलब आज तो समझ आता है कि piracy है, ये हो गया, norms हो गया. I don't think there were laws or anything.
The laws were, and even though if there were laws, it was very difficult to implement. It's like a small product of 500 rupees. कौन किसको case करेगा उसके ऊपर, like for piracy. The thing was, we had a technological solution. We made sure that our software detects that it is running from a genuine floppy, which Quickheal company provided, and then if it is not running from a genuine floppy, we used to stop updates or not do things, and that really helped us actually.
Okay.
That's how we means technology only helped us to solve this piracy problem. And then gradually virus problem also increased so complex that people realize that they need to have paid up-to-date software to solve that. And along with that, what we realize is that different segments need different features, and that's how we created a segmentation in our product. So there was a Quickheal antivirus, and then we created internet security, and gradually we also created a total security. So as we were talking about name, my product categorization also had that kind of insight. So when I say Quickheal total security, बाय करने वाला समझ जाता है कि इट includes everything. Now it is total security. मुझे total security चाहिए. Because if somebody is having a complex need, he's having internet, he's having banking requirement, everything in one computer, he'll go for total security. If somebody is using PC for say studies, doing college, internet security is enough for him. So that way, by naming category to the level where it has to be understood by just name itself was the thing that we had followed quite early. In fact, this nomenclature was later followed by the competition after that.
जैसे आपने बताया कि उस ज़माने में इकोसिस्टम नहीं था, फंडिंग नहीं थी, यू वेंट बूटस्ट्रैप्ड, आपने कभी एक्सटर्नल फंडिंग नहीं ली. ये कोशिश थी या किस्मत थी, या आपको वो टाइम पे फंडिंग नहीं मिली, या आपने देखा नहीं, ढूंढा नहीं, कैसा हुआ?
So yeah, means funding was needed. We did went to banks. We did went to try to get funds. See, VC or private equity, that concept was not that at that stage. But banks were giving loans to companies, and we realized that's the only way to get funds actually. And we went to banks. We went for loans. But
So what was the ecosystem that time? Today we have VC, seed funding, A round, B round.
That was not at all that.
So what was the business?
So businesses were only getting loans from banks to do business.
And what kind of loan?
That was like two types of thing. One is loan for long term, one is for CC, you can say cash credit, monthly
वो जो
recycle,
cash credit
that
आता है,
kind of
हाँ,
thing.
बराबर.
That was there actually.
Okay.
But banks used to follow the process of getting something for mortgage. So cash credit किसको मिलता था? The organizations who are having something like production है, products are getting created, and then that will go to distribution. So they used to mortgage those things actually.
And
But
I
then
think the
for
idea-
software that was nothing.
idea of business that time was machinery, building,
Exactly,
people.
something tangible.
Tangible.
So nothing tangible was there in software, and they never realized how. Means bank people also used to say, "आपके पास क्या है?"
क्या
And then
है?
IP was not their thing actually. So they never understand IP, intellectual property that we had. Not able to get loan or even CC at that time. So we
So
tried our
it is
hands
a very,
on.
It is a very interesting thing. How did you manage to grow from that thing?
So as I said in my earlier answer, we were born up with that kind of mindset. Of using or working out frugally throughout the stage. That really helped us to stay profitable and independent in those days when we were not getting funds. So we were whatever we were earning through computer maintenance, we were reinvesting, but every rupee was stretched to the limit to make sure that we spend only when there is an absolute need, and we reuse all the things, and that really helped us. But in that time we
So
learned.
how did you formalize it or organize it, properly put into it from gig to creating Quick Heal? So when did you start? I mean, did you start it as partnership or proprietor, or did you
So
start
yeah, started with a partnership.
you and
Yeah,
your elder
and
brother?
as soon as we released the first version and started looking for people to distribute and all, we created it to a private limited. It was named as CAT Computer Services in '95.
95.
So CAT Computer Services started in November '95, and that's how means Quick Heal was the product. And then in later stage when Quick Heal became so popular, in 2007 we named our company from CAT Computer Services to Quick Heal Technologies.
Okay.
So that period from starting from 95 till say 2007-8, early 4-5 years were very struggling years, and we only earned through hardware maintenance that Kailash was doing, and we were reinvesting
Putting
into
that
all the
money
product,
to
and we tried to make sure that our product remains feature compatible, competitive in the market, and at the same time solve the real problems of the customers actually. Because you know why Quick Heal was successful and we could do that. While the struggling years, we realized that many of the customers were using MNC products, not trusting us, but at the same time, even though they were using MNC products, they were still facing problems. They were still having pain points. And me being into this, I used to sit with the customers, understand how they are using antivirus, whatever they are using, and why they are still facing problems. And I used to make sure that my product should not have those problems, and I used to create those features that were not there in MNC products. And then once they used to be seen by the customers, they realized that this is a different, and this used to solve their problem. So virus problem is one, but then people had these problems, like for in example in India, early internet came around 96-97, the same time people started having email and internet, which was dial-up connection, which was VSNL, which was very slow. Now people started getting updates for antivirus through that slow internet, but that used to take long time. And if there used to be power cuts, there used to be internet connection used to get disrupted. And then what happened, all the update that was downloaded, whatever partial, it used to get I'll say removed, and then they have to restart the whole update process. It used to take days at that time. And I said, no, why should that half downloaded update should be discarded? We should reuse that. So what we did that, while updates were downloaded, if the power cuts happened, we used to store that incomplete status. When the light powers used to come or the internet used to reconnect,
Then
we
it
used
starts
to
from
resume from that position. So all these smaller features that really changed the way product
customer
was seen,
feedback
and that
helped
was
you
a
a lot.
differentiator, and it was because of customer feedback. Of course, people had so many of these little differentiators needed, and we created them at the early stage. And gradually, in fact, our competitors started following us after that, and that's how Quick Heal was leading the market in the early days once we realized those changes actually. And then gradually we were able to appoint dealers across different cities, get them to sell our product, and that's how we expanded actually more than out of Pune as well by 2002.
So listening to your customers is very important.
Right. Yeah.
Their feedback is very important.
Feedback, taking feedback and improving your product, learning from that.
Implementation and execution on that feedback is very
And
important.
that has to be like constant cycle. It's not like you have done that and now it's finished. Do that, release the product, again sit with the customer, see how is it using, what are the new challenges.
So in the ecosystem, what you had and what it is today, what is the difference? I mean, it's been what, 30 years when you started. I mean, most of the people working generation today is born after 90s. Today's startups or employees, workforce today is born after 90s. So what is the difference in when you started and what it is today? So what ecosystem we have today, it is very easy to start a business, scale a business, get funding. So what is your opinion on that?
Employee front as well. Now, if you see, engineers have a lot of options to do computer engineering. There are so many institutes out there. While I was doing, there were just 2 institutes who were providing. So getting admission, getting all that was little difficult early. and at the same time, job options again change a lot. Actually, people now have so many options for IT. But at the same time, I can see engineers are also getting a lot of engineers are getting out every year doing computer engineering, and they are also trying to get jobs. So unemployment is also increased because there are too many engineers now coming out of this ecosystem. So on the one side, I'll say ecosystem has matured a lot, good, and technology wise India is now at par because we are providing and we are the IT force for the whole world now actually sitting here. So that change has happened a lot. I mean, it's a good
So
change.
I was talking about the ecosystem for starting a business or
Yeah.
a startup. I mean, is today's generation spoiled
Mm-hmm.
with so many options and so much of availability?
Yeah. So with this, that respect, I'll say then nowadays there's a lot of change with respect to first change. I'll tell you. You know, the thing is, when we were starting, people used to not think business as a good option. They used to think, अरे आपको एक अच्छा job ले लो, permanent job. That's the thing.
Definitely.
People used to think, study अच्छा pass out करो or then take a permanent job. First they'll look at a permanent job. And we were completely.
So jobs were permanent. Nobody used to think about hopping jobs, yeah, job changing वगैरह नहीं सोचते थे
No,
वो
but then
time पे.
private were not looked after as a good job option. People used to go for government jobs because there was a permanent option used to be include that
Job
all the other
security,
facilities
other
of,
facilities of-
yeah. But then that mindset has changed. Now people are looking towards startups and entrepreneurship as a good, cool thing, I'll say. And all these buzzwords like getting funding routes, getting listed or getting exits, valuations, all that has really attracted people to this entrepreneurship.
No, that is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Is today's generation spoiled with so much of
Yeah.
options or so much of availability? Like you said, entrepreneurship is cool today.
Yeah.
So, being an entrepreneur is
That's
a big
what
fat
I'm
word
coming
of
to.
10,
One, the
12
thing
alphabet.
is, people are getting attracted because of those buzzwords. And the point is, it's like running behind the hype. But then, those startups, I'll always tell that instead of running towards hype, look for the real solution. But people are not looking for real solution. What they are trying to do is, they are looking for an idea to solve a problem and looking towards a valuation, more towards earning through the valuation, getting listed or getting funded is the focus, and which should not be the case. The case should be that you should focus on some real problem that you need to solve, and while solving the problem, if that product, whatever you are developing, if that really works well, then it should, all other things follows, then investment and all these things will follow. It should be secondary, not the primary thing. And that's what you rightly said. Nowadays, whenever I see a new founder or a new entrepreneur, their focus is about funding rounds and their thing. I have a small idea and they just start talking about funding. I said, अरे आइडिया टेस्ट किया, ट्राई किया, बिफोर दैट दे थिंक अबाउट देयर फंडिंग राउंड्स एंड वैल्यूएशन, ऑल दैट, which is I'll say you need to change that ecosystem.
So, in your opinion, what is the difference in value creation versus valuation? Like you said, कि everybody is talking about valuation, valuation, valuation.
Yes.
And ये valuation word ये अपने आप में इतना dilute हो गया है कि पिछले 4-5 साल में अब डर लगता है.
Yes.
मतलब we saw many, let's not take name, but many people who were 10 billion and 20 billion coming down to zero valuation. What is the value creation versus valuation for you?
So exactly. So the
or
thing is,
anybody who's starting today should look at.
so I'll say if you really want to become an entrepreneur or do a startup, you should be really solving a problem that is real, that is, and most prominently you care about, you are passionate about. If you are passionate about solving something, create a solution out of that and focus on satisfying the users and making sure that your solution really solves what it is meant for actually, and it is really working. So you have to be on ground to do that. You have to be in touch with the customers. You have to be talking to your audience, whoever you are trying to create a solution, and then you will realize whether that is really solving the problems. And if that solves, automatically other
Or
things follow.
if the way I am doing it is solving the problem.
Yeah.
Even that should be considered.
Yeah, and that's why it comes like when you listen to customers, you will come to know whether your approach is right or not. Because if finally it comes to solution, if your problem is not, your approach is not solving the thing in the way the customer wants, he will give you the feedback and you have to pivot yourself. You have to change your approach to solve that. And solving something is something creating value for the customer. And if you create value for the customer, there is a win-win, and once there is a win-win for both, automatically your product starts selling. It's become like a word of mouth, and then you start creating a value, and that you have to think of long term in these things. Actually, you cannot think short term. Means success is not overnight. Rarely there is a success overnight, I'll say. You have to think long term. In this long term, you will see ups and downs, you will see setbacks, you will see failures, but those are there only to improve your solution, only to improve or bring a change in your approach. That's the only thing you need to understand. If those setbacks are there, you need to change yourself. If the failures are there, you need to improve yourself, and then you will start the seeing the path of success. And that throughout this journey, if you have that patience to carry forward, then you will be a successful entrepreneur, I'll say. If you focus on valuation or getting funding at the early stage, you are not focusing on the solution. You are like, you are creating something that may not go long term. It will fail. It will have some
So I have
repercussions,
seen prop techs burning what 110 crores for a revenue of 12 to 15 crores. So burning money.
Yeah.
OPEX is the new CAPEX.
Yeah.
So what do you think
So
about that?
for us, profitability was very important from the
We
early
were
stage,
only
actually.
about
Yeah.
profit.
Exactly.
We did business only for profits.
We never used to spend something that we haven't earned. Unless we earn, we never spend. So that was the learning which we born, actually, I'll say. So that's the mindset we had. And while spending, we always used to think, what we are earning, इतना आ रहा है तो इतना ही spend कर सकते हैं. We
बिल्कुल.
cannot go
उसका भी
and,
portion होता था.
yeah. And उसमें ही we used to work out.
Yes. Today's the idea of burning money, putting in money, scaling fast. उसके बारे में क्या opinion है आपका?
So the thing is, see, one is like competitiveness has grown, speed of execution has taken much importance. But I'll say those things, still you will have to follow those rules that I said. If you keep yourself on ground, you will be successful entrepreneur for long run. But if you focus on like quicker solution, speed to the market, that is only there if there are things like which are very deep tech things, like where you are going to be behind if somebody brings that in the market before that. All that pressure is there for those things. But most of the businesses, I'll say, creating value, go slow and steady, solve one step at a time, and improve yourself through the learnings and create a value to customers, partners, whoever you are working with. That should be win-win for everybody. No spending before earning, actually. That's very crucial, I'll say.
No spending before earning.
Yeah.
Okay. You spoke about acquiring partners. So how did Quickheal start from Pune, reach national level, India, international level? I think you have presence in more than 70 countries,
yeah.
More than 1,000 employees, more than 25,000 channel partners.
And
Tell
more
us
than 7 million users, actually.
7 million users. Okay. Please tell us about it.
So yeah, as whatever I have said till now, we were doing all this in Pune. Till 2002, we were focused in Pune. So in between, we did try going appointing national distributor or trying to reach out of Pune, but we did get any success because we realized that it's difficult to create a brand outside. It's costlier. So since we were having limited resources, we focused on Pune. And since there in Pune doing computer workshops or computer repairs, we were having good connections among all these computer maintenance workshops. So what we did was, since there was no other national distributor touching our product, we started approaching these hardware vendors to start selling our product in Pune. And because we had good relations, they were willingly ready to try this, and we were behind them for any kind of after sales support in Pune, having our hometown. So that was really helping. In say a couple of years time, after 99, in like till 2002, we were able to wipe out the competition in Pune. We were the number one antivirus in Pune by 2002.
Be it Indian or MNC.
Yeah. And what we started thinking is, what is working for us in Pune? Why we are not able to do the same thing out of Pune? And then we realized that we being present in Pune and giving back-end support, all these partners had confidence that. So we started doing the thinking that let's open a branch out of Pune. And instead of going to metro cities or bigger cities, we tried to do in smaller cities. So we opened our first branch office in Nashik in 2002.
Okay.
And since MNC products were not available in these cities. They were there, products were there, but they were not having focus
Support
activity
systems,
in
after
B and
sales.
C class cities. So we going to Nasik and applying all the learnings that we did in Pune. We even approached all the hardware vendors in Nasik, and gradually we were able to grab the whole market in Nasik, and that we realized we were able to do that in just 6 months time. So what we realized is that is helping. So we started opening branch offices in all these smaller cities like Indore, Surat, and even Kolhapur, even south we went on to other cities, Hubli and all. And gradually when we became popular all over these cities, we started opening of branch offices in bigger cities like Mumbai, Delhi, even Bangalore and Chennai, and Calcutta as well. So from 2002 till 2008, we had expanded into almost 32 cities with our own offices and our own team on ground, training all these hardware
In
vendors.
2 years.
No, not 2 years. 2002 to 2007, 8 actually.
5
So
years.
it's like 5 years.
Okay.
And we were the market leader in all these cities actually, and that really helped us. So it's not only presence in the city, but we created the ecosystem. So
Ecosystem.
when national distributors were not touching our product, we created our own distribution.
Distributors.
And that's how in 7 to 8 years we were able to get almost 25,000 partners selling our products across India. And by 2009 we became India's #1 brand actually. So grabbing the maximum market share of 32%, and we are still market leader even after 15 years after that. And we are still the market leader. So that's how we started from small city like Pune and expanded to India, and then even we started selling out of India as well. So we have good presence in African countries, Southeast Asia, Middle East, and even in Europe actually. Yeah.
So somebody starting a business today who says कि मुझे फंडिंग का प्रॉब्लम है, मेरा सप्लाई चेन प्रॉब्लम है, तो आइडेंटिफाइंग योर टारगेट ऑडियंस, योर डेमोग्राफी, मतलब थिंकिंग अराउंड इट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट अदर देन सेइंग कि मुझे ये कमी है वो कमी है. जैसा जिसको करना है वो कर लेता है, वो आइडेंटिफाई कर लेता है, जैसा आपने किया वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है.
That's right, yeah.
You started with Pune and you wanted to be in Pune only. You could have shifted to Bangalore, which was a better ecosystem for tech, or Mumbai being the financial capital, or San Francisco, California. Why you choose to be in Pune only?
So Pune is our hometown first of all, and this is
अपना शहर होता है.
yes, yes. But the thing is, in early days we didn't had funding, and that was a big challenge. So we were not thinking of moving to any other city or having fancy office or infrastructure. Our focus was to stay frugal and operate. But and in the hindsight, if I look back now, staying in Pune really helped actually for me.
I was about to ask you.
Yeah, yeah. The reason was, see, what we realized is Pune really had a good talent pool. We had good educational institutes here.
We have.
Diverse people out here, and the culture of Pune itself is something that really helped in an ecosystem where we can have good employees, we can have good team, build the team sitting here in Pune, and that really helped us actually. So I'll say one thing is that for sure Pune really brings in good talent pool, and it's easy to start or build a good team out of Pune when you are starting up as a product company, I'll say.
So, I mean, Pune has a sense of belonging. I always say this. We, education hub, Oxford of the East, we had amazing finishing schools. So, but when you're building, how were your hiring process for the team?
So we used to hire freshers. We didn't afford experienced guys. So for us, reaching out to these educational institutes and hiring at the time of internship was the main key thing for us actually, and that really helped us a lot early stage. But we have to, of course, train them a lot because they are freshly graduate or freshly engineered. So we had to train them in early, at least for 6 months, to bring to the level where we want them to do the research on threats and
Wow.
cyber threats and work on the products.
Because somebody starting today thinks of getting in professionals, experienced professionals within the 6 to 8 months or 1 year time frame.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but you getting your own people, training them to with your product, thought process, culture,
Yeah.
psyche, everything helps to retain the talent, I guess. What is your opinion on that?
Yeah, means one thing happened, that I was not affording the experienced guys, so I had to hire freshers. But then among freshers it became a very important aspect for joining Quick Heal, because they got to learn a lot here, because being a startup they had the freedom of working on whatever they have to, and not only like a certain aspect of their career like just testing or coding. They, being a startup, they have to wear a lot of hats, they have to do their own research, they have to do their own testing. All this really helped, and I could build a good team, and that team went on to the colleges, and they talked about how the good ecosystem is there for
what the
working
company
actually.
culture is,
Yeah,
how the
and
workflow
that
is.
really helped actually.
So how was your interaction or your involvement from building from 1 to 100, 100 to 500 and 500 plus?
So
Or anyone who's starting a business or a startup should look
so
at it.
one is like I'll say, it takes initially our focus was research and all that. So initially we were focusing on smaller teams, but as we started expanding, we had to have team for support team, and we had to have people for sales, marketing, and gradually we started having all these departments. Even for HR department was there, we started bringing in people for just doing HR after 2007-8 actually. That's how we started slow, started frugally, but then gradually we expanded towards that.
Because there is a lot of mindset difference also, I think, when you are starting, when you are small. So when you are 0 to 50, the mindset is
Yeah.
different. When you are 50 to 100, the promoter owner mindset is different. When you cross 100 to 200 or 500, the mindset, you need a different mindset.
The thing what we saw the change was, early days we had to go and talk to the college what they join us, because they never knew what is CAT computer services, what is Quick Heal doing, and we have to do that. So what we created a new way to attract talent was, we went to colleges and do their training for them for 6 months free of cost in the colleges for a specialized C++ programming, and whoever wants to do, they can join us, and that was free of cost actually. And in that course we used to select the smartest guy from them after that 6 months, and
The best way.
Yeah, and they used to love that what we are teaching, and they started understanding that we are teaching something much more advanced, and those who are into proper real learning, they thought that we are the ones who are doing the real research. Instead of joining any MNC, they were happily joining us in those days actually. And we followed that for at least initial 5-6 years. Once our brand started becoming big and we started getting recognition, people then started approaching us. They wanted to join us for doing research and something. So that change happened after like 2008-9, I'll say.
So you became IPO, you went IPO also around same
Yeah,
time.
we went IPO 2016.
2016, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got funding from Sequoia Capital in 2010.
2010. So you were always a B2C company and you are venturing into B2B company now. So tell us more about the shift.
Yeah, so
Is
as I
it
said,
a shift? Is it a transition, or these are two different categories or products?
no, there was some decision made at the time when we started seeing the change on our user base actually. So what happened, we became India's #1 by 2009-10, and we were B2C, purely B2C. But our product was getting used not only at home, but smaller offices like CA's office or professionals, doctors, everybody having 1 or 2 pieces, or at the most 4-5 pieces, they are also using Quick Heal. But gradually what we realized, that some of our customers were expanding, they were having going bigger, they were growing to the level where they started having 20 pieces, 50 pieces, 100 pieces, and they were still using Quick Heal on each of these pieces. And then somehow their feature need was different. They started asking us for certain different features, easy manageability or remote manageability, and all the dashboard for all the insights into one place. So those requirements were enterprise requirements, and so we started thinking we have to create a different product for that. Under Quick Heal brand only, we started creating, we created a product called as Admin Console by 2011-12, and we realized that we were not able to sell in consumer. Marketing was getting difficult because of the communication, because on all our ads, all our communication, print ads or radio ads, we were focusing on consumers with features that talk about consumers can understand. And when we started talking about enterprise features, consumers were not understanding them, and enterprise used to always think us as a consumer brand, because we had that much reach, that much marketing already done. So we thought, let's create a separate brand altogether. And by 2014-15, we created this Saccharide brand, which was like we moved all our enterprise offerings under this brand actually. And then after Seqrite was born, and now today Seqrite is again leading in market in the small and medium businesses. So started in 2014 with an endpoint security. Now Quickheal is a B2C brand and Seqrite is a B2B brand with offerings like Zero Trust platform or even XDR, and then mobility management platform, EMM, and all these products under Seqrite.
So, like you said, okay, consumers to look at you as a consumer brand, and B2C and B2B needs different mindset, different approach. Like
Yeah.
I am into real estate, so a commercial real estate does not understand much about or does not have a thought process much around residential
That's right. Yeah,
real
yeah.
estate.
I can
So
now
somebody
relate
who's selling houses, it is very difficult for him to sell commercial office spaces. What was the difference in your thought process?
So
Because
exactly.
you need a different thought process, different
So
mindset.
and all everything comes down to communication. So when you are selling something, you need to communicate in the means of advertisements or marketing. And when we are talking about, for example, B2B features, it's all about how to manage enterprise network security, how to manage challenges or threats that are there. So in enterprise, what is the change? You will have email server, you will have network server, you will have thousands of PCs. And in home, you are just having 1 or 2 PCs. You don't need those servers. So features that are there in enterprise will be not be there. So you cannot communicate under same brand different features. So we have to create
True.
a brand. So that's where the umbrella
No,
was created.
even what I want to understand is the promoter mindset.
Hmm.
So when you're B2C, when you're selling to the consumer, and suddenly you have enterprise. So that shift is very important in the promoter mindset.
Yeah,
So
we were
was it
struggling for that in at least for a couple of years, trying to, as you rightly
exactly
said,
my
to
point?
shifting. So having same team doing both the
Both the
things
things
was very difficult.
very
Then
difficult.
we created a vertical inside our
That
organization.
is
Now
important.
there are separate teams actually. So sales ecosystem, even the partner ecosystem for enterprise sales is different. That
Very
same
good.
partners are not there.
Very
So
good.
Seqrite deals with different set of partners which are like system integrators we talk about. So they go and solve enterprise challenges. They only have enterprise customers. And the consumer business is all about small retail shops across the city and talking to them and talking to consumers. So we had now a separate team, a separate product. In fact, there's everything separate except the threat engine, which is the same for both the products. But now the verticals are completely separate inside the organization.
टुडे साइबर सिक्योरिटी इज अ बिगर इशू. मतलब इतना बड़ा इशू है कि किसी को अगर फ़ोन करो तो कोविड के टाइम पे जो मैसेज आता था अवेयरनेस मैसेज, उसके बाद अब आ रहा है कि बी अवेयर ऑफ साइबर फ्रॉड्स. मोदी जी ने खुद एक कैंपेन चलाया था
Yes.
on the cyber security, and I did one podcast with Pune police cyber cell officer.
Yeah, I
Pune
saw
is
that.
losing more than 2 crore rupees every day in cyber financial fraud.
That's right. Yeah.
Emotional frauds हो रहे वो अलग से है. There are too many things. So for you, what is cyber security or cyber awareness today? इसके 2-3 एस्पेक्ट्स है. एक तो एंटरप्राइज के लिए है. वाई एंटरप्राइज? बिकॉज देर इज अ फेमस इन्फ्लुएंसर और यूट्यूबर कॉल्ड रणबीर अलाहाबादी. बियर बाइसेस के नाम से उसका चैनल है. उसका चैनल हैक हो गया था. सो अगेन दैट इज अंडर साइबर सिक्योरिटी. और somebody फ्रॉम द फैमिली, बच्चे हो बूढ़े हो, मे बी आई हैव सम अंडरस्टैंडिंग बट माई मदर डज नॉट हैव, माई फादर डज नॉट हैव, but everybody has a phone in hand. So when we did that podcast, one reel on Instagram went viral, 1.5 million plus. So many people messaging कि मेरे 40,000 रुपए चले गए, मेरे 20,000 रुपए चले गए, किसी का 299 रुपीस चला गया. So उसके बारे में कुछ बताइए.
Yeah, so cyber security, I will talk about cyber security for enterprise first. The thing
Yes,
is, see,
yes.
cyber
नहीं,
security.
क्योंकि एंटरप्राइज के बारे में भी बात करना बहुत जरूरी है. लोगों को लगता है कि वी आर एंटरप्राइज, वी आर टेकन केयर ऑफ, बट मतलब इट इज अ मैसेज कि
Yeah.
रणबीर अलाहाबादी जैसे का अगर चैनल हैक हो जाता है जिसका एवरीथिंग इज ऑन द चैनल, तो नो हु इज सेफ.
You are right. You are right. So the thing is, see, cyber threats are more sophisticated than ever now. I'll say.
Yes.
Whatever we were knowing about cyber threats is now completely changed. They have become more sophisticated, more targeted than ever. So what is happening? They are selecting their targets, and more often in business side, what I've seen, more particularly in small and medium businesses, they don't think that they are the target actually. And the thing is, since they are not well prepared and they don't think they are not the target, cyber criminals know that actually, and they know that these are the organizations, they are not well protected, and that is the most easy target for them to earn money out of that. So that's where these attacks are happening. So attacks starts with, like, for example, small, the most important attack that currently everybody faces is about phishing. Phishing is about, like, the example that you gave about how Ranveer's channel got hacked and he lost everything. And then the thing is, it all starts with the small mail, like phishing, innocent mail. We feel that it's a genuine mail, it's coming from somebody or the organization, and phishing mail is designed to steal your login credentials. And once that is done, somebody gets whole access to your account, no matter it's YouTube or Gmail or your email account. So that's one of the biggest challenge that everybody right now faces. And because of AI, this phishing has gone to the next level actually, because now all the automation of creating the best phishing mail, creating the genuine looking website, fake website, bringing the customers to those fake phishing website and asking them to give login credentials is all automated now. And the next biggest threat that I am seeing, because we are into this business for 3 decades, is about ransomware.
Yeah, because you are into this business for 30
decades,
years,
yeah.
Your opinion is more important.
Yeah, so the point is, one, phishing mail is the biggest threat. After that, what we are seeing is ransomware. They are now become more targeted. Ransomware study your organization like in depth. They take, say, couple of months to understand how your business works, where are your bank accounts, where is your most important data stored, and then one fine day they'll send a phishing mail, steal your login credentials, log into your account and lock everything, and then they ask for money actually. Unless you pay them, they will not give your data back. It will be encrypted, it will be locked, and it will be backed up on their cloud. So even if you say that I am having a backup, I don't need this locked data, they'll still threaten you to publish that what they have copied there. And now it is sensitive data. It's your customers' data. If that gets published, you will lose business, you will lose reputation. So that
There
kind
are
of
so many news of इस company का data hack हो गया, उस company का data hack
so that's
हो
where
गया.
the breach is
There
there.
are so many newses where, or reels I have seen where dark web के ऊपर the people are selling data for
That's right, yeah,
$2,000,
So,
$500.
yeah, the thing is, these criminals are not only copying your data and encrypting and locking it to ask for ransom, but many times what happens, people say that, "अरे मैंने तो backup ले लिया है, मुझे I'll not pay ransom, I'll format my PCs, I'll restore it from backup, and now I will be okay." But for example, if you say you are a CA and you have all your customers' data,
Everything.
yeah, and you have backed up, and you are not paying ransom, but then the hacker or whoever is the
fraudster.
behind that, he also has their data. They copy it on the cloud, and now they say I'll publish it on the dark web. Now that is going to create a reputation loss to your business, because your customers' data out on the internet will create a problem for all your customers, and the sensitive data will no more remain confidential, and that's where the real threat lies actually. So not only backing up is the solution, but you also have to have the right security so that these hackers won't have access to your data. So encryption should be there, all these things. And then after, one more threat that we have seen is grown like anything in last 5 years is about business email compromise, wherein small businesses are the most bigger target for them. Yes, what I am talking about business email compromise is that they will send email to your employees as if the CEO has sent the mail.
Oh.
They'll impersonate as
Yes,
your CEO
yes.
or as your CFO or sometimes your vendor, the best of the vendors.
Yes.
And they will ask to transfer certain funds, and
Yes.
people do that assuming that it's their CEO talking, and they'll do that.
Yes.
So that is also a big scam.
So there was a scam in Pune real estate specifically, where the promoter or the developer sent an email to the accounts team, somebody in accounts team, and they transferred 4 crore rupees.
Yeah.
And that email was never sent. Developer ne, builder ne
That's what we
apne
call
team
as
ko-
business email compromise. So BEC is the common term used there. So that is one more threat, and this is happening to a lot of small businesses across actually. And
So रणबीर अल्लाबादी के केस में ऐसा है कि वो इन्फ्लुएंसर था, उसके पास
yeah,
गूगल
so for him the
supported
handles
and
and his accounts were the assets, and they were
नहीं, उसके केस में ऐसा था कि गूगल ने सपोर्ट किया, यूट्यूब ने पूरा रिवाइव कर लिया. बट अ स्मॉल बिजनेस लाइक मी हु हैज अ स्मॉलर टीम एंड उसने क्या करना चाहिए?
I'll say
For me, my problem is bigger. Like you said, some CA. Every financial detail is with your CA. And that could be published somewhere in the dark
See,
pages.
so first of all, I'll say at least 3-4 are the simplest step that everybody can take if you are doing a business. You first thing you need to do is increase the cybersecurity awareness across your organization, from starting from the top guys till the office boy. Make sure they
So when you say
understand.
awareness, I mean, when I spoke to the police officer also, he was talking about awareness. What are the steps to take
That's what I am
awareness?
coming to them.
So is there
yeah.
is there a crash course that you need to do it for your people?
So awareness I'll talk about. See, one is you just have to tell everybody that you have to be aware that somebody is out there to hack you. You have to be aware of that. If you are aware, then your every action online will be careful. So when you are clicking on links, if you are receiving a mail and if there is a link, if you are receiving a WhatsApp message,
Email
if
marketing is a big thing. I
yeah.
mean, even with me, I want companies like you ka email data because I can reach out to you for my business.
Right.
I will want to check with you if you want commercial office space on rent, sale, whatever my business is. Email marketing is a bigger thing. So how the person can be identified कि ये APK file नहीं है, ये malware नहीं है, या ये नहीं
One
है.
is thing you see, you should be making
Because
sure
digital
that
marketing,
whatever you are clicking is coming from a genuine source. You need to first check that actually.
Okay.
The next thing is you need to have a proper cyber hygiene. Like you need to have antiviruses installed. You need to, if you are having a bigger network, at least endpoint security installed. Make sure that it is up to date. All the PCs are having protection, not like you are having 100 PCs and you are just protecting 99, and even if you left one machine unprotected, all your efforts are going to go waste because that threat from that machine can easily understand all the 99 machines and gradually laterally move across your organization. So I am talking about cyber hygiene and the awareness level that okay, we have to be protected. Next is we have to use everything up to date. So if you are using operating system and other application, whatever applications you are using, use the latest version, apply all the latest patches, because these are vendors release patches every week. And why they are releasing patches? Because they are coming across different software vulnerabilities that they realize hackers are using. They fix them actually, and these fixes are available as your patches, and you have to apply those patches regularly. So one is use some endpoint security to protect all the devices. Make sure you use the latest operating system and patch all those operating systems regularly. Patch not only operating system but all the applications that you are using, and making sure that your each employee is aware about cybersecurity. If that is then, and then after comes other cyber hygiene, like make sure you are using the strongest password, not reusing the same password to all the accounts. Using the multi-factor authentication wherever possible, wherever you are having accounts and there is a multiple factor authentication like SMS or authenticator option, go for it. All these simple steps will make your network secure, and that will at least protect you from the basic hackers. And for home, as you extended the question, for home, nowadays homes are more like an enterprise network, I'll say, because homes are going digital. People say students or
Sir,
kids
I
are
have
using.
understood, speaking to the policemen, that this is an era of digital pandemic
Yes.
or cyber pandemic.
Yeah.
Everybody has a phone.
Everybody.
My son, who's 12-year-old, has a phone from what, 6 to 8 years. My mother, who's 60 plus, has a phone.
Yeah.
And abhi to she's okay, but she has to have that habit of believing whatever is coming on phone.
Yeah. And not only that, using the latest all the apps, doing banking through apps. People, elderly, love to do that because they feel that okay, I can do now, send money from phone, and they try to use
They are
all
very
those
excited.
apps actually. Yeah,
They are very excited because they have seen the money order ka days.
हाँ.
And आज UPI हो रहा है.
हाँ.
So for them the transition is very good. And मतलब something new, they are excited to do it. But problem is, like I said, कि मेरे एक डीमार्ट स्कैम वाले रील के ऊपर पीपल कमेंटेड कि मेरा 40,000 चला गया, मेरा 20,000 चला गया, मेरा 30,000 चला गया. एंड दीज वर ऑल सीनियर सिटीजन्स, मेजरली सीनियर सिटीजन्स. उन्होंने क्या करना चाहिए? So a child may understand, but senior citizen is a problem.
See, we think that this is happening only with senior citizens, but that's wrong. Our data says that it's happening with everybody. The point is, cyber criminals or these scamsters are now using your data against you. We are using social media for doing publishing whatever we are doing, and that information is available to everybody.
Yes.
And we are also using all the digital platforms, like we are using Aadhaar or passport and all other, not only government but non-government. You are having account with Zomato, you are having account with
Everyone.
everybody, and all apps need your email address, your phone number, your address, and that information, if it is getting breached from their server, still it's not your fault, and still the hackers have your information, your date of birth, your name, your email address, your phone number, and using that they are calling you to scam you actually, and you don't realize that how they got that data, assuming that they are the right person. They will impersonate as if they are a CBI officer or they are a parcel guy.
The digital arrest.
Yeah, digital arrest. Or sometimes they will say they are talking from say parcel guys like DHL or something else, that your parcel is stuck and this is
courier company से बोल रहा हूँ, crime branch से बोल रहा हूँ, parcel है,
and
कुछ भी है.
they try to touch the user's emotion in a way that they feel that अरे मीन्स यू विल गेट अ कॉल सेइंग दैट ओके मैं आपके बैंक से बोल रहा हूँ, आपके अकाउंट में अभी 15,000 का ट्रांजेक्शन हुआ, विच यू विल से अरे मैंने तो कुछ नहीं किया, टेल मी मोर. नाउ बिफोर यू वेरीफाइंग वो बैंक से ही कॉल है, यू स्टार्ट लाइक योर बॉडी लैंग्वेज चेंजेस, यू स्टार्ट फियरिंग कि मेरे साथ फ्रॉड कैसे हुआ. व्हेन यू आर सेइंग मोर अलर्ट भी एक कंडीशन है जो टारगेट करते हैं ये लोग, कि आप अलर्ट है तो आपको ज़्यादा उसके ऊपर फोकस करेंगे. कॉल करके बोलेंगे आपके अकाउंट में से 15,000 गया, यू विल से कैसे गया, कौन से अकाउंट में से गया, देन दे विल आस्क यू सर्टन क्वेश्चंस कि मैं बैंक से बोल रहा हूँ, वेरीफाई करने के लिए आप मुझे आपका डेट ऑफ बर्थ बताओ, आपका ये बताओ, एंड देन यू विल शेयर एवरीथिंग एज्यूमिंग कि वो आपको हेल्प कर रहा है, लेकिन वो हेल्प नहीं कर रहा, वो आपकी इन्फॉर्मेशन निकल रहा है अगला स्कैम करने के लिए. सो दैट्स हाउ थिंग्स हैपन ऑन द कंज्यूमर फ्रंट. एंड एज आई वॉज सेइंग, पीपल आर going digital, but homes are also going digital. Homes are becoming smart. People are using smart TV, smart devices. Even fridge are connecting to internet. TVs are connecting to internet.
Your lighting,
And
everything. I can sit
when I
here and
say
operate my घर का electronics
automation,
and
yeah,
automation,
gate
home
and
automation,
everything. So thing is, when we are using so much technology, all these applications we are using, they are all vulnerable. People are not thinking of those aspects, that these applications can get hacked. And especially when these applications are so fast coming, that automation and even TV applications, they are not securely designed. And what is happening, you know, hackers are using these loopholes. Your router at home can get hacked, and if that can get hacked, they can monitor all the traffic that is coming from all the devices, from your devices, your elderly devices, even kids devices, and whatever bank or whatever transaction you are doing, they can easily divert you to the fake website. If you are trying to go to, say for example, hdfc.com, at router level they can divert you to a fake HDFC website. You will see a genuine website jaisa look and feel. You will never come to know that you are doing transaction in a fake website, giving your username, password which they are capturing. So that kind of hacks are happening because people not taking cyber security seriously. They are not doing these simple cyber hygienes. As I listed the things for enterprise, they are same for the consumers. They have to make sure that they should have strongest password on all the applications and not the same password on all the applications. They have to keep changing. So maybe using password manager will be the good option. Password manager from operating system on your phone as well. There are a lot of password managers which comes along with the operating system actually. And then making sure you use multi-factor authentication. So you have SMS authentication additional to your password.
Two-step verification.
Make sure you use the latest software and up-to-date software. So whenever you are using any application, if there is an update available, get that update. Apply all the patches immediately. And then along with that, make sure that you are using some security. So for example, if you talked about these many frauds, fraudulent investment applications, fraudulent loan applications, and we have a product like anti-fraud, which is Quickly antifraud.ai, which sits on your phone and checks all the applications. If there is a fraudulent or fake application that you are trying to download, it will warn you. So make sure that you have such security.
So if an Android phone has an APK file, will your product warn you?
Yeah, it will immediately warn.
So what happened is कि इन्होंने एक केस पुलिस जिनके साथ में किया था, उन्होंने एक केस डिस्कस किया. एक लेडी के साथ में 90,000 रुपए का फ्रॉड हुआ. उन्होंने क्या किया था, फेसबुक पे एक ऐड देखा था, 1 किलो काजू बादाम ऐसा कुछ तो भी 399 रुपीज़ पे. तो और वो डीमार्ट का था. तो उन्होंने जब किया, वो फेक डीमार्ट का था, जो वो एपीके फाइल था, वो एपीके फाइल उनके फोन में इंस्टॉल हो गया. और इंस्टॉल करने के टाइम पे उन्होंने सारे परमिशंस दे दिए अलॉन्ग विद एसएमएस. तो एसएमएस को कंट्रोल कर
पूरा रिप्लिकेट हुआ, उसको भी सेम टू सेम सब कुछ दिखने लगता है.
पूरा पैसा निकाल लिया उसने.
So that's how they work.
What your product can do in that?
So that's what I was talking. सी फेक कॉल, फेक एसएमएस थोड़ा बहुत तो लोग समझ लेते कि अरे ये बात कर रहा है, ये फेक लग रहा है एसएमएस, लेकिन एप्लीकेशंस जैसे जब चीजें आती है तो पीपल को दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड
They don't
बिकॉज इट्स ऑल complex, it's more sophisticated, and you may get attracted to these by some kind of ad coming on WhatsApp or Facebook or even Instagram. So many times you will click on a link that is a attractive composition. See आपको फॉर एग्जांपल इन्वेस्टमेंट का एक ऑप्शन है जिसमें आप सेव करे हो इतना इतना, तो ये दे स्टार्ट विद स्मॉलर कैरेट and people start believing in them. They send an application, they will also even refund you some money to show that they are genuine. Like if you invest say 1,000 rupees, they will give you back 1,200, and then you'll assume कि अरे यहाँ पे earning अच्छा हो रहा है, then you'll give more than 1,000, you'll start giving him lakhs, and they'll start even returning. And when they understand your psychology, they'll come to know that how much you can pay them, and once you start paying them in crores, they'll vanish actually. So that's how these applications come into your phone. So what Quickhill Anti-Fraud does is it scans these applications and they know that whether this is a genuine application or fake application. Because we have a anti-fraud lab in our lab office, which does scan all these kind of applications that are out there in the internet, on the internet, and what scams are happening. We are monitoring them and we are monitoring their updated applications as well. So we have that whole database of applications, and not only that, वी ऑल्सो हैव दिस इकोसिस्टम. ये एप्लीकेशंस कहाँ से बन के आते हैं, जहाँ से वो अपलोड हो रहे हैं. नया एप्लीकेशन गूगल पास कर देता है, उनके एंड्रॉइड स्टोर पे आ जाता है, लेकिन वी पॉइंट देम कि ये फेक एप्लीकेशन है, डोंट अलाउ दिस. एक्चुअली मैनी अ टाइम्स वी हैव पॉइंटेड, एंड दिस इज अ रेगुलर जॉब फॉर अस. एवरी मंथ एटलीस्ट 10 to 12 fake applications we point to Google.
You flag them.
Even after that they have approved, we say that these are fake and they are creating scam. In the future they will create a scam.
So is it not Google ka responsibility to verify the application which are on their
the point
Play
is
Store?
Google is a bigger ecosystem. They cannot do these things manually, so that's why they have automated these things. And once there is an automation, it's easier for hackers to fool the automation, because they understand, they study the automation, and then they fool the automation. But then that's where the ecosystem is. They are into operating system, we are into security. So our angle or our approach is always different actually.
So somebody also had commented about having iPhone then Android. Does it make a difference? iOS versus
some
Android?
level. It's not like iPhone can't get hacked or can't get scammed. The point is iPhone ecosystem is little stronger than Apple means Android's ecosystem. The reason is any application that is released on Apple iPhone is scrutinized, not only automated, they also scrutinize manually. So it takes almost couple of months to publish your application on iPhone, but it takes few weeks to publish on Android, because Android is all automated, and that's where Apple has a little better security. But then those hackers who are targeting Apple are more sophisticated.
More sophisticated.
And their targets are also sophisticated people, I'll say.
So while looking for office space for Quickhill, did you look at it as an expense or asset? ऑफिस आपका एक्सपेंस भी हो सकता है, आपका एसेट भी हो सकता है. अगर आप खरीद लो तो आपका एसेट बन जाता है, बुक वैल्यू आ जाती है, एवरीथिंग इज देयर. आई एम श्योर इफ यू रेंट इट, इट इज प्योर एक्सपेंस. What were your thought process?
For me and for my point of view, like what I've seen is that when we start, early days is more about struggle. So at that time, focus is more towards renting a place, because then it's more affordable and easy and flexible. If you are growing, you can just move out of that and move to a new rented place. As we grow, as we stabilize our business, as we go to the level where we are a brand, then we start thinking. In fact, for Quickhill also, we started thinking we should have a base where we initially, even though we were in a rented place in Mangalore, once we started getting to the level where we were brand, we were having good enough partner ecosystem, we thought we should have a base, and so that's why we bought an office actually. So because buying office from our point of view was having a base where everybody starts thinking, your employees, your partners, your even customers, that we are there for a longer run actually, because having our own, investing into a asset is something that is a long term plan actually, and then people realize you are a serious player out there. And then along with that, as a team, what we felt is that we have our own space to design, we have our own means since we have our own culture, we have our own way of creating our own working place where every employee should feel proud to come and contribute in the process or in the vision that we have. So having our own office at the later stage was a great
So
plan.
early days, I'm sure your priorities are different. You want to grow the company,
Yeah.
put everything back in the company. The reason I asked you is, I'll give you a little context. Uh, last year itself, I have sold around 50 crore plus commercial real estate, going back to people who had rented earlier. कि आपने रेंट लिया है, 4 साल पहले रेंट लिया था, ये रेंट वर्सेस ईएमआई वाला जो इक्वेशन है उनको जब समझा देता हूँ तो सीएफओ कि समझ में आ जाता है कि बॉस दिस इज द राइट थिंग. नाउ वन ऑफ माय क्लाइंट जिसको मैंने पहला प्रॉपर्टी तकरीबन 2015 में दिया था 30 वर्क स्टेशन का, एंड आई सोल्ड हिम अराउंड 20,000 स्क्वायर फीट रिसेंटली. तो दे हैड कम टू मी अगेन फॉर रेंटिंग 15,000 स्क्वायर फीट. आई सेड, आई मीन other than renting it, it is, I mean, you have come to, like you said, you have come to a place where you don't grow multiple floors, then you grow in percentage. तो वो time पे buying is good. But my actual question is कि promoter अपने दिमाग में इतना बड़ा बना लेता है कि buying is a big thing, but they bought it in 15 days. It is no big thing. I mean, if you look at the leverage, EMI, expense,
See, maybe
everything.
I am not a finance guy, but I can understand, and what we have always, while making such decisions, you know, what we thought about.
That is the thing. I mean, not being the finance guy, but the promoter.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
So that's why, Ryan, so my thought process was about like having our own place where everybody can work and contribute. And see, having rented place always gives the impression that you are there for a short term. आप कब निकल जाओगे? The point when we were saying that we are growing and we started having such a big ecosystem that our brand became number one, we made sure that we are there for long run, and that with that, even though we were not on means out of Pune also, even though we spread across different cities, we had our own offices in different things. We bought, initially we rented, but gradually we shifted to our own properties. The reason is it really gives you a base, financial stability, and at the same time that impression that you are there for a long time. Actually, it's not a short term business. Actually.
And the asset creation.
Yeah, asset creation is there,
And
and employees also feel very great when they are working in the space where they feel it's a company's own actually, rather than rented. Actually.
Yes. And for company like yours of size and scale, you will not move at least 8 to 10 years. 9-year agreement is the minimum thing. Where when you buy the property, 9 साल में तो property
finance wise, it's always sense. It makes
free
sense. If you keep on renting, then you are paying much more than.
It is an expense.
Yeah.
So that was my question. I mean, were you looking at it as asset or expense?
Initially expense, and
Because
then
of
we
your
looked
priority.
at it because it really added as an asset actually.
It does. I mean, it is an asset. 8 साल 9 साल के अंदर आपका पैसा वापस आ जाता है.
And then it grows as a value as well.
Value grows. Value grows. Your book value is good. Your everything is good. आज के generation के लिए who want to start a business or the entrepreneurship, आपका advice क्या होगा?
So to the new age entrepreneurs or founders, I'll always advise that now is the right time to go and create something out of India. India, I'll say, is a land of opportunities, and just try whatever there is in your mind. So start small, start now. That's the biggest, I'll say, point. I'll start small, but start now. Don't think like I'll start at the right time, or right time is now is the right time, I'll say. बहुत बार लोग है ना सब सोचते रहते कि मैं ये करूँगा, लेकिन they just wait for some opportunity, they just wait for right time. But I'll say, don't think that everything will be perfect at the start. It can be initial small idea which may not be that perfect at the start, but you will figure it out over the time. Just start now and start small is what I'll say. But also at the same time, I'll say prepare for the challenges. Entrepreneurship is not all about growth and flatline. It's all about ups and downs. You will face doubts, you will face failures, you will face setbacks.
You'll fail.
Be prepared for facing them and learn through them and pivot and go ahead. So that is for sure. Means like it's not everything is cool out there. Be prepared for these things, ups and downs.
So we've reached the end of the podcast. We have a segment called Rapid Fire.
Wow.
So I have some questions for you.
Sure. Yeah.
So what is your favorite place in Pune to relax or ideate?
Yeah. So if you see for relaxing and ideating, see I've grown and brought up in Wakdewadi. So
Shivaji Nagar as well.
Yeah. I used to always go, and I always loved to go this agriculture college ground. And whenever I am in stress mood or something like that, or even when there is used to be exam, before that I used to go there. It's a relaxing. I just sit for there and think in my own pace. Actually, it really made me relax among the nature. And along with that, like if I am with friends, I'll go for different types of amrutulya. I love to have teas at amrutulyas, and Pune is like place for amrutulyas. Like every nook and corner there is a good amrutulya out there, and I love having teas out there actually. Yeah.
What inspires you other than tech?
Other than tech, I love more of a like art and nature actually. So that really inspires me. So I'm going out and doing trekking or listening to music or doing my own drawings. I love to draw, and so all these things really inspires me, recharge me to come back to tech. I'll say. Actually.
While setting up an office, rent versus buy.
I'll say starting small, it will go with rent, but then once you are established, go for your own office. That's my philosophy.
Product you wish you had built other than Quick Heal.
Yeah, if you have to talk other than Quick Heal, something other than Quick Heal, I really like this idea of UPI. I would have built something like UPI if I wouldn't have been in, which really changed the lives of all the Indians.
UPI or fintech? Anything in fintech?
I don't know, UPI kind of thing, payment app actually.
Okay. Top 3 books you will recommend for every founder.
Okay, so I love this question because I am a book reader, and the top 3 books that come into my mind is, the first one is Stay Foolish, Stay Hungry. Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish by Rashmi Bansal actually. The book is really good, which really lists out the small, true, real entrepreneur stories out there actually. Now, the other book I can recommend is about How to Win by Prakash Iyer, and the third book maybe India Outbound, Guru Charan Das. He's really listed out the real ecosystem of India and what are the opportunities out there in India. So these 3 books I'll recommend.
Thank you for giving all the references from India.
Yeah.
That is more important, I guess.
Yeah, of course I do read international things, but I think these are more connectable, more resonate with us actually.
Definitely. One myth about cybersecurity people still fall for.
That this will or it will not happen to me. Many of these things happen. All the small businesses or even in the individuals things that cyber threat will not happen to them. That's the myth. I'll say. Everybody is going to get affected by cyber.
Most underrated quality in an entrepreneur?
According to me, it's patience. Because see, if you see, being a successful entrepreneurship needs time actually, and there are lots of ups and downs. And somebody who can really stay calm throughout all the ups and downs and can become a successful is what I have seen, and that's the patience is needed actually, and that's the most underrated quality, I'll say.
If not cybersecurity, which other industry you would look at?
Yeah, if I wouldn't have been in cybersecurity, I would have be ventured into marketing. See, I always love this idea about creating or storytelling to create a brand, and I had done that with Quick Heal as well. So that is something really attracts me. It's more a creative field that I would have done if I would have not done cybersecurity.
One thing about Pune as a city you would like to change other than traffic?
The very important thing, and that comes immediately onto my mind, is about creating a good infrastructure for public transport. That is something that is Pune really needs, and that will solve a lot of problems, I'll say.
So a progressive city is known by its public transport.
Yeah.
If Pune were a person, how would you describe Pune in 3 words?
In 3 words. Maybe the 3 words that come into my mind is like vibrant and diverse, at the same time welcoming, I'll say.
Welcoming, yes. Sir, we had an amazing discussion. जो भी ये वीडियो पॉडकास्ट देख रहा है, सुन रहा है, what is one thing you would want them to remember and where they can follow you?
Yeah, so we talked more about our entrepreneurship journey, my entrepreneurship journey. So I'll always, my ending thoughts will be about how to, if you really want to remember me, just remember me as how to go about starting small and going big actually. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and to follow more insights from me, I keep on sharing my experiences on my LinkedIn handle, and people can follow me there, and you will get a lot of insight about how and what are my learnings in this entrepreneur journey.
I'll leave your LinkedIn handle on the description. Will that be okay?
Yeah, that will be okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It was pleasure. Yeah.